Hey, we're back. It's another Age of Empires 4 replay. We're continuing the English aggression on hybrid water maps. So it's going to be me playing as English versus NTG 5000 Delhi player. It's a long match, so I'm going to be cutting through some of this beginning here. But when you're up against the Delhi as the English, you got to watch out for them throwing down the stables, putting a scholar inside of the stables, and then spamming out horsemen, because they will run your longbowmen down. Going to be doing my pretty standard strategy here of aging up as quickly as I can, not worrying about the water. My opponent puts down a dock, then we're going to deny it as quickly as we can. Seeing my opponent gather from these berries, which could be a good target for if I put on my aggression. Not for if, but when I put on my aggression. So now we're aggressively chopping wood. Decent amount of sheep, really good amount of sheep actually. And now we're going up and down the river trying to see if there's any docks that were put down by my opponent. We'll also get clued in about a dock if we see a slow feudal age, but instead my opponent goes right into it. So with my opponent not going for the water, I decide, okay, I'll get an outpost down. Maybe I can get a dock of my own. That said, I still want to be looking around to see if I see any boats or any docks I can take on. But in the meantime, I'll send my first longbowman forward to maybe harass the berries, see if my opponent sends any units to fight me. Scouting through his base, I see the stables, expecting that. So this longbowman will likely be run down by a horseman. And then when I look back down here, I see a fishing ship. So my opponent did get a dock. And I'm wondering, where is it? So I'm sending this villager down south because I really want to get another outpost down to spot it. I assume it's somewhere down here since my scouts had kind of hit the southern edge. So we're just going straight ahead with the outpost down here and my own dock over here. Now the Delhi, you have to be careful. They have archers on their fishing ships. I have my archer target firing the villager, really hoping to get the kill before losing the longbowman. Maybe just one or two more shots. Oh, I needed one more there. So I'm up against some horsemen. That means don't need to go so hard into the longbowman, and I need to get down some barracks. I put down a barracks here, and I start training some spearmen. Now things are going to get a little messy here out on the water. Sending a man-at-arms forward. I encounter one of his archers. That's good. I go ahead and engage. I'm getting down another barracks near the dock. I do this because the ships coming out of the dock aren't going to be able to do any damage to the barracks. And if the ships that the dock produces have to go somewhere, then my infantry can start burning down the dock. So you can see we're already starting on it. He wisely makes a dhow. This is an archer ship. It can easily take out villagers and infantry. But it can't do anything versus buildings. My fishing boat finishes, but this dhow right here, I should have garrisoned this in the dock, and I tried to at the last minute, but at least I was able to save this villager. Oh, no, that's another fishing boat. Also scouting up here to see if there's any secondary docks. Using my longbowman to kind of discourage the dhow. And now I have to pull my units away. I want to see what the archer boat does versus my man-at-arms. I don't like what it's doing. Try to pull him back, but I lose him, unfortunately. This is really when I want to be upgrading my outposts with the arrow slits, but I'm a little slow on my stone mining, so it's going to take some time. Fortunately, I have a decent standing army that I can do things with. and I am forcing my opponent to make these Dao. They're about 180 wood and 90 gold, so they are not cheap. So basically he's got just a huge clump of archers. Oh no, don't want to lose these longbowmen. Let's get them into the, nice, into the outpost. So I don't want to lose any of my my infantry units. And I want to try and deny that dock still. Looking forward, looks like he's wisely putting down an outpost. I'm trying to put a dock up here. I cancel it with the moment I see the Dao come up. Can't get away with another dock. Looks like I'm going to have to guard this one. I did upgrade my outpost, so I'll at least be able to defend this and start to produce ships from it the moment I'm free to. I don't know when that's going to be. Really got to get these units away from these fishing ships and in here. Yes, the outpost. If they can start shooting at the Dao, we can deal a lot of damage. Look at the damage. Even getting healed by the dock, this Dao is just not dealing the damage. I see that I'm winning here. I really should have put some troops in this tower earlier. And if he starts to target my villagers, I'll just duck them into the tower. Now I'm burning down the dock, taking out his Dao. He really should not be losing it there, but he does. I should be target firing the fishing boat. But I'm burning down the dock, and that's what I was hoping to do. He sends a counterattack. I lose a villager here. I lose my villager here. But fortunately, I built a outpost near my gold, and I just rally my villagers that were near my town center inside, put these villagers inside. The stone villagers are not as lucky. I think I'm going to lose these two, but fortunate enough that his attack didn't really do too much. Oof, really got to do something about this spearman. Hopefully when he comes over here, the town center will take care of him. We've successfully taken out the dock. He's using his fishing boats to try to take out my infantry. So he took out maybe 4 villagers on his attack here. I haven't had much luck killing his villagers. I think I might have killed 1 or 2 that were out here. Though really my wins are, rather than killing villagers, I am killing fishing boats, which are 75 food apiece, or wood apiece. Yeah, that's great. Putting down another dock. Unfortunately, the fishing boats with their archers are going to spot it. And I see another villager coming over here, getting chased by a wolf. So I feel like I've secured this lower edge. I really need to get these infantry relocated or harassing, because now the action is moving to the north. These fishing boats are a real hassle. Fortunately, longbowmen can go up against them, kind of head to head. 7 damage apiece is pretty good, and we can outrange them as well. So as long as we stay back, we can deal good damage to them. But yeah, when they get close, they're able to gun my units down. So things have kind of calmed down. There was a lot of scrapping going on. I was able to deny his dock from the center, though he has gotten one to the north. I've got a decent chunk of food, wood, gold. Probably what I want to do is invest it in fishing ships. I should have done that earlier. I don't know why I'm sitting on so much wood. I could really be using that wood to make fishing ships. And here I do a run through of his base and I see a lot of villagers on gold. I have to assume he's trying to age up. If we take a look at current resources, my opponent needs just a little bit more food and then he can age up. If he had a market, he could easily sell this wood, buy some food, and he'd be able to age up. He's also trying to wall off this top section of the map. I can understand why. The problem is I've still got this pathway, so I might just send my units all the way around to take out his dock. We'll see about that. Good, I'm finally starting to get some fishing ships. Unfortunate that it looks like I queued up a few at this dock when this one was also available. Okay, now I'm starting to split it up a bit. That's good. That's going to give me the food income that I need to get up to the next stage. Now I just need to aggressively get some gold. So hopefully I'm rallying units that way. I decide to engage with him, realizing I have still a good chunk of archers or longbowmen, and if he is trying to age up, he probably hasn't been making any units. So I decide to engage, buy myself some more time. You can see he's ready to age up. He's honestly floating tons of resources. He could drop another town center at this point. I was very surprised at how much resources my opponent was able to gather during all this time. If my opponent was maybe a little quicker on spending these resources, I think he would have won. I think he would have won here and now. This skirmishing, I'm cool with it. I'm mostly just seeing archers, spearmen, horsemen. They can't really win against my diverse force of spearmen, longbowmen, and man-at-arms. So I'm also looking to get down some of these villagers. Looks like I get one. Oh, maybe not. I did get a few villagers here near the stone. A few more there. Now I decide, okay, if he's going to toss everyone into his outpost, I will move up to his wood line. Now I'm hoping to get some of these villagers. There's a few. Oh, there's another. So I think it was a successful use of my units. And all that is to buy some time for, oh, I'm seeing spring alt emplacements come out of these towers. Should really pull these units back. I go up to Castle Age as well with my King's Palace. Looking at income per minute, my opponent is just ahead in food and wood. I think it's because there is still a huge clump of fishing ships up here. This dock is still up and still doing good. I really think a good play for my opponent was getting this wood or this stone wall down, preventing me from easily reaching up here. And I think it was an oversight on my behalf not making at least one combat ship, such as a galley or maybe a hulk, and sending it up here. Look at how many fishing ships he has. I should have prevented this a long time ago. That's how he's got such a huge income in terms of food. That is so many. 9 fishing ships. He just spammed them the moment he had his dock out. And now he's going for all these upgrades as well. Only thing I can really do here is if I got a ship of my own, like an offensive ship, like a galley or a hulk. I do a little bit of harassment on the back end. Looks like he's going to solve that by putting down walls. Really, this wall, all these fishing ships, it's giving him such an advantage in income. Sure, I've got all this wood and gold, but I need to be spending that on combat ships to put an end to this. He has a Bagla, which is a pretty strong attack ship, but fortunately I did make a Hulk. I'm bringing it forward to snipe this down, and now we're going to get to work on his fishing ships. The Hulk will nearly one-shot them, so at least the Hulk is cleaning up quickly. This Hulk is pretty much just going to go all the way through. And I will say that for my docks, I should have made more of these offensive ships because I actually researched a technology here that's unique to the English. It lowers the cost of all ships by a certain percentage. So you can see my galleys are actually a little bit cheaper. There's discounts on hulks, there's discounts on carracks. They're just a lot more affordable. Heck, I can make demolition ships as well for a lot cheaper. Fishing boats change from 75 to 67. It's a decent discount. Look at that. I still haven't taken out the dock. I need to send this Hulk to take this out. I cannot let my opponent sit on these docks. I see my opponent's army poised up front. I also see he's taking a sacred site. I'm as well. I've got my monk with relic to drop off here, and it looks like my next Monk is going to bring back this relic, and then we're hoping to capture that sacred site. But I see his composition here, mostly knights and some man-at-arms. I have a few crossbowmen and a lot of pikemen, so I decide, let's engage. I don't think my opponent's standing army is all that strong, and if we can engage, then maybe we can slip into his base some way. So yeah, we're more than happy to take this fight. These Lancers are strong, but the Spearmen are such a good counter to them. Yeah, every strike from these Spearmen are dealing a huge damage to them. And the Crossbowmen in the back are doing well. In terms of upgrades, this battle may have been more in my favor if I had some upgrades. Let's check the Blacksmith. Looks like I've got all my level 1 upgrades, and we're moving on to Siege Engineering. But I'd like to stay more on top of them. I've been in the Castle Age for a little bit. I'd like to see more of these coming out. Okay, good. Gain the Military Academy. And it's pretty fortunate the Siege Engineering finishes because my opponent does have this wall, but if I can make a ram and bust through, I could do some damage to his wood line. I'm capturing the sacred site. I've taken out the dock. Look at this Bagla go up against the Hulk. My Hulk is at almost no health, and yet this Bagla is not having a great time trading with it. It's crazy how strong these Hulks are. I need to remember that the English get them. In terms of fishing, we're still taking on a lot of these fishing spots. We're feeling good. I'm also going to go and prevent him from taking this sacred site, so I'm going to have this man-at-arms take out his scholar, and I'll capture it myself. Same time, I'll put on an attack here. Archers and crossbowmen are going to target down villagers. It's unfortunate I don't have a scout here. It would have given me good vision over. Maybe we would have gotten another villager. Not sure what kind of a force I'm going to find on the other side of this wall, but we're going to find out. It'll be a nice preview of his army, and I can start to make what I need. Looks like more Lancers, more man-at-arms. I probably need more crossbowmen. Oh, and a lot. He's even got a Springall to take care of the battering ram. And a decent chunk of archers as well. So I can't do too much about it. And they're looking pretty upgraded. He's definitely not been falling behind on his upgrades either. It looks like on his blacksmith, he's nearly got all the level 2s. Neutralize the sacred site. Once I capture this, my opponent will be on a timer because I'll have control of the sacred sites. Looks like I'm having my Hulks clean up more of the remains of his water. Yeah, we'll take that out. Okay, there's the sacred site. So now I'm thinking, why don't we secure this? His wall here is kind of doing that job for me for this sacred site. Trying to harass where I can, but it's difficult. You can see how well he has packed his city together. It's really difficult for me to strike anywhere. You can see he's actually stone-walled off this entrance. So my only approach is here, and I believe he has actually placed a keep right here. So he's well defended. My only other option is maybe to slip through this narrow passage over here, but it's hard to approach. I think this is when I spot the keep, and I have to back these units off. There's no way we can do anything about that. Get a little preview of his army. I decide it could be worth engaging. I'll distract him by trying to knock down the stone wall here with a ram, and then maybe on this front end I can engage with his army. I see the Springald. That's probably the one thing I need to watch out for. If my Mangonel can keep firing throughout the battle, then that'll be great. Getting some shots. I'm going to want to try to target down just the clumps of units, but really the upgrades are an issue. I need to get more of these out. And he has very strong units, these knights. It's good that I have this spearman mixed in. Oh, look at the shots from the mangonel on my fishing ships. Oof. It's so effective versus these clumps of ships. But speaking of ships, my hulks are coming down to assist in the battle. Having some naval units assisting with the fight, it's just deleting these crossbowmen off the map. They're so effective. Look at them take out the mangonel. Oof. Like spring alts. My opponent made it to the Imperial Age, and I'm trying to as well with my Berkshire Palace. I'm hoping that my hulks, my towers, and my random forces here can clean up. Over here, unfortunately, even after I broke through the wall, my forces encountered a stone wall tower, and it looks like we can't really do much of anything against it. But we do trade, at least somewhat. I'm hoping he doesn't send these forces down to the sacred site, but it looks like he is. Fortunately, I put a spring alt in placement on this outpost, so it'll take shots at them as they approach. So we're cleaning up the damage that was done here. We're trying to get the Berkshire Palace up. In terms of income, you can see I'm way ahead in food. My opponent's ahead in gold. I am gathering more stone, but it looks like all of my lumber is currently being moved over. I'm sort of long distance chopping over here. Okay, putting down a lumber camp here. Yeah, I need to get my wood supply coming back. Almost losing the sacred site here, but I definitely want to rush over here and prevent him from taking it because that'll continue the timer. And the hulks are so helpful. I should really, once I get some more wood in my bank, make some more hulks or maybe even some carracks once I make it up to the Imperial Age. Feeling good about this Berkshire Palace. This is pretty much going to defend the front of my base from any kind of attacks. And these hulks should, if they patrol up and down the river, be a good defense as well. Now what may not be apparent right now is my opponent went to neutralize the sacred site because the timer on the sacred sites is actually coming to a close. I didn't really realize it. My opponent certainly did, but we are right at the end game. There is maybe 1 or 2 minutes left on the sacred site timer. I need to defend this area with everything I've got, and I realize it a little too late. I'm going to put down all these walls. I'm going to make it up to the Imperial Age. Perfect. I can get out cannons and whatnot. But these stone walls needed to go up a few minutes ago. I mean, I have tons of stone. I should also rush some villagers over. I mean, these villagers are long distance mining from this gold. They could run forward and put down another keep, because this needs to be held. I don't think my opponent's going to go for this sacred site. He'd have to go through the Berkshire Palace, or I'd see him building here with his villagers, and I could reposition my troops. This is it. I need to defend this position. This is everything. Now I'm seeing his army. It's some bombards, mangonels, spring alts, and then a mix of man-at-arms and war elephants. I immediately get to work making spearmen. I'm definitely going to try and get my veteran spearmen, but I really need them to upgrade to elite as well. So I'm researching that. I believe I have the money for it. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm getting it. But right now, I need to be maximizing my production, and I'm not really realizing it, but these docks could be making me ships. I need to queue up some carracks and send them down. I could probably make 3 of them right now. I could get them down here. It's good that I'm bringing my hulks down, but I definitely need more ships here because they can cover the sacred site. And they'll at least trade decently with some of his siege units. So he's coming forward. I decide to engage. It's an absolute free-for-all. It's so hard to tell who's winning. The crossbows in the back are doing good work because these are all very heavily armored units. The longbowmen are effectively doing nothing. But with another surge of elite spearmen, I'm hoping to take down his war elephants. The keep is down because of these bombards. This outpost is still firing, and the hulks are beginning to take shots as well. I don't see any more elephants. We were able to take them out. Now we're just dealing with his man-at-arms, his crossbowmen, and some of his knights. For them, I really need my own man-at-arms, my own crossbowmen. These hulks are doing such good work. I really need more naval units down here. Trying to build a keep, but you can see our forces are basically trading one for one. Now it's going to become an issue of who can rally units to the front faster, and if I can get this keep up. The problem is these bombards are already dealing damage to it. It's good that I've got cavalry burning down the bombards. I really need my units to target these down, because they can actually trade with my hulks. In fact, they're beginning to. He's even brought a trebuchet to deal with some of these keeps. My keep is about to finish. It finishes, though it's only got a archer. It's only shooting arrows at this point. There's no emplacement for springalds or cannons. And my opponent is actually neutralizing the sacred site. Fortunately, I have this hulk here, and I also have a springald emplacement on the outpost, so it's neutralizing his infantry. But you can see my opponent has begun to secure this area. I'm throwing villagers at him. I really need ships to come down. I'm running low on resources. I could probably make a few ships. And my income is starting... No, it's not slipping just yet, but I have lost a lot of villagers. And the main thing is this sacred site's right here. The sacred site timer is ticking down. There's probably like less than a minute here. It's like down to 30 seconds, 15 seconds. All he really needs to do is get a single unit on this point, and he can start to turn the tide. So these scholars actually rush over because they're the fastest unit he's got, and they begin neutralizing the sacred site. The timer for the sacred victory was actually on 0. If these units had died, he would have lost the game immediately. He's moving forward with his army, and the moment I see that I can't reach this site and that his army's pulling forward, I've realized I've lost. It was such a close match. I really enjoyed it. I still don't have regrets on playing the English on these hybrid water maps. I'm seeing how powerful some of their navy is, so it's not awful if I secure the water with some aggression, start to build my own ships, but that's what I need to do. I need to build ships. That was my big takeaway here. A large cluster of ships along this water line would have protected this sacred site and would have given me the flexibility to guard this sacred site as well. So it was a big oversight on my behalf. The huge battle over here with all the war elephants, the crossbowmen, the archers, such a cool battle. I think I would have held out a little bit better if I had had more upgrades. As you can see, I'm still behind on maybe 3 upgrades, whereas my opponent playing as the Delhi with their free upgrades absolutely has all of the upgrades available. When the game goes this long, Delhi are definitely going to have all their upgrades. I liked my unit production. I liked how I had gone into the late game. It looks like I've got a decent amount of upgrades, but I'm just not quite there. There's still just little bits of things that I needed to research. Just a few more ships, a few more unit production buildings, a few more defenses here. If I had had the foresight to defend this spot a little bit better, I had the stone available. Just a lot of little things that I think could have been improved. But overall, what an amazing game. I enjoyed every minute of it. Hope you enjoyed every minute of it too. See you next time for another Age of Empires